friends, fellow seekers of a healthier, happier life. I am Dr. Yang. Thank you for being here, for taking this time to invest in understanding one of the most powerful and potentially destructive forces within the human experience, our anger. Today, we are not here to talk about anger as a fleeting moment of frustration. We all experience that. We're here to talk about anger as a habit, as a constant companion, as a slow-burning fire within us that we mistakenly believe is heating our engine, when in reality, it is melting our very wiring. For too long, anger has been dressed up as a virtue, a sign of passion, of strength, of someone who won't be pushed around. But what if I told you that science, in no uncertain terms, reveals a very different story? What if the person you are most harming with your rage is not your boss, not your partner, not the stranger who cut you off in traffic, but you? Let's pull back the curtain. Let's journey deep into the human body and mind, and see what really happens when anger takes the wheel. It begins in a flash. A perceived insult, an injustice, a thwarted expectation. In an instant, an ancient alarm bell rings in your brain, the amygdala sounds the alert. This signal triggers a tidal wave of hormones, a chemical cascade designed for one purpose, survival. This is the famous fight-or-flight response. Adrenaline and cortisol flood your system. Your heart rate skyrockets, pumping blood away from your core and to your muscles, priming you for a physical confrontation. Your blood pressure surges. Your breathing becomes shallow and rapid. Your senses sharpen. You are, in that moment, a weapon. This system is a masterpiece of evolution, for dealing with a saber-toothed tiger. But here's the critical problem: your brain cannot tell the difference between a tiger and a terse email. It cannot tell the difference between a life-threatening attack and a slow-moving checkout line. The same physiological cannon is fired, again and again, at modern-day irritants. And when this becomes a frequent occurrence, this life-saving system becomes a life-destroying one. Let's start with the most obvious victim, your heart. Imagine your cardiovascular system as a sophisticated, delicate network of pipes. Now, imagine repeatedly pouring boiling, corrosive liquid through it. That is what chronic anger does. Every burst of anger causes a dramatic spike in blood pressure and heart rate, straining the tissue of your arteries. This creates micro-tears in the vessel walls, and the body, in its attempt to repair them, patches them with plaque. This is the process of atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of the arteries. Study after study has shown that people with high levels of anger are significantly more likely to develop coronary heart disease. They are at a far greater risk of suffering a heart attack. In the 2 hours following an angry outburst, the risk of a heart attack actually doubles. Think about that. The emotion itself becomes a direct trigger for a catastrophic cardiac event. Your anger isn't just metaphorically breaking your heart, it is literally, physically breaking it. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the science of well-being, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your support allows us to continue creating content that empowers your health journey. But the damage doesn't stop there. That same flood of cortisol, the primary stress hormone, wreaks havoc on your entire body. Chronically high cortisol levels disrupt your immune system. It suppresses the production and effectiveness of your white blood cells, the soldiers of your immune army. This leaves you more vulnerable to everyday infections like colds and flu, and, more terrifyingly, it reduces your body's ability to fight off more serious illnesses, including cancer. Research has shown a clear link between a proneness to anger and a weakened immune response. So, while you're fuming about a past grievance, you are simultaneously disarming your body's defenses against future threats. Your brain, the very organ that generated the anger, is not spared. High levels of cortisol are toxic to brain cells, particularly in the hippocampus, a region critical for memory and learning. Chronic anger has been linked to an increased risk of dementia and a decline in cognitive function. It literally shrinks your brain. Furthermore, anger disrupts the delicate balance of neurotransmitters. It depletes serotonin, our feel-good chemical, and keeps us locked in a cycle of irritability and negative thinking. This is why, after a major angry episode, we often feel drained, depressed, and mentally foggy. It's not just an emotional crash, it's a neurological one. Let's talk about something that might surprise you, your lungs. Yes, your lungs. A famous Harvard study found that men with high hostility scores had significantly worse lung capacity than their more easygoing counterparts. The theory is that the stress hormones associated with anger cause inflammation and damage to the lung tissue over time. Even when factors like smoking were taken into account, the link remained. Your anger, quite literally, takes your breath away. And we cannot ignore the inflammation. Modern science is revealing that inflammation is the common thread linking most modern diseases, from diabetes and cancer to depression and autoimmune disorders. Anger is a potent driver of systemic inflammation. It tells your body to be in a constant state of red alert, to attack itself. It's like constantly revving a car engine while simultaneously slamming on the brakes. The internal friction and heat will eventually cause the entire machine to seize up and break down. This is the undeniable, scientific truth. Anger is not a show of strength. It is a physiological assault. It is a self-administered poison that you choose to drink, all while hoping the other person will die from it. It is a debt you incur against your own body, and the interest it charges is your health, your vitality, and your years. The good news, the powerful and liberating news, is that this is not a life sentence. Understanding the science is the first step toward liberation. It gives us the ultimate motivation to change. We are not just managing an emotion for peace of mind, we are performing critical maintenance on the only vessel we have to navigate this life. So, what do? We learn to rewire the response. We recognize the early physical signs, the clenched jaw, the quickening pulse, the heat in the face. We see that not as a call to arms, but as a warning siren. We pause. We breathe deep, diaphragmatic breaths that signal the vagus nerve to tell the body to stand down. We reframe the narrative. That person who cut you off? Maybe they're having the worst day of their life, rushing to a hospital. That frustrating comment from a colleague? Perhaps it was a clumsy miscommunication, not a personal attack. We choose to respond, not react. This is not about becoming passive. It is about becoming powerful. True strength is not losing your temper, it is mastering your temper. It is having the immense self-control to choose your battlefield, rather than letting every minor irritation declare war on your nervous system. The goal is not to never feel anger. Anger is a signal, a message that something is wrong. But we must learn to read the message without letting the message burn down the entire post office. We must feel it, acknowledge it, understand its source, and then channel its energy into constructive action, not destructive internal combustion. Your life, your health, your peace is your greatest treasure. Guard it fiercely. Do not hand over the keys to your internal world to every external event. You have the power to interrupt the cycle. You have the power to choose a different path. You have the power to tell your amygdala, "Thank you for the warning. I've got this from here." If this message is resonating with you, if you feel that pull towards a calmer, healthier, more controlled life, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel. By subscribing, you're not just getting a notification, you're making a commitment to yourself to keep learning, to keep growing, and to keep surrounding yourself with information that serves your highest good. The science is clear. The path is forward. The choice is yours. Choose calm. Choose health. Choose life. Thank you. And for those of you who are finding value in our time together today and want to continue this journey of transformation, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. It truly helps us build a community dedicated to well-being. Thank you.